Well, good evening. This Sunday, one of the passages that will be read to us is from Exodus chapter 3, verses 1 to 15. I'll just remind ourselves of these verses. Now Moses was tending the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest of Midian, and he led the flock to the far side of the desert and came to Horeb, the mountain of God. There the angel of the Lord appeared to him in flames of fire from within a bush. Moses saw that though the bush was on fire, it did not burn up. So Moses thought, I will go over and see this strange sight, why the bush does not burn up. When the Lord saw that he had gone over to look, God called to him from within the bush, Moses, Moses. And Moses said, Here I am. Do not come any closer, God said. Take off your sandals, for the place where you are standing is holy ground. Then he said, I am the God of your father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. At this moment, Moses hid his face because he was afraid to look at God. The Lord said, I have indeed seen the misery of my people in Egypt. I have heard them crying out because of their slave drivers, and I am concerned about their suffering. So I have come down to rescue them from the hand of the Egyptians and to bring them up out of the land into a good and spacious land, a land flowing with milk and honey, the home of the Canaanites, Hittites, Amorites, Perizzites, Hivites, and Jebusites. And now the cry of the Israelites has reached me, and I have seen the way the Egyptians are oppressing them. So now go, I am sending you to Pharaoh to bring my people, the Israelites, out of Egypt. But Moses said to God, Who am I that I should go to Pharaoh and bring the Israelites out of Egypt? And God said, I will be with you, and this will be the sign to you that it is I who have sent you. When you have brought the people out of Egypt, you will worship God on this mountain. Moses said to God, Suppose I go to the Israelites and say to them, The God of your fathers has sent me to you, and they ask me, What is his name? Then what shall I tell them? God said to Moses, I am who I am. This is what you are to say to the Israelites. I am has sent me to you. God also said to Moses, Say to the Israelites, The Lord, the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, has sent me to you. This is my name forever, the name by which I am to be remembered from generation to generation. This is an amazing story. The Israelites were in exile for about 400 years, and God was silent. Moses was of Israelite descent, but he was raised in the halls of Pharaoh. And at one point he tried to defend his people, and he kills a guard. Yet his own people turn against him and reject him. So he runs away, as many people who were in that position of slavery could not do, but he did. He gets married, and here we find him in Midian, tending Jethro, his father-in-law's flock. It was quite the come down from where he was in Pharaoh's kingdom. And God appears in this burning bush. And finally God speaks. Yes, he does care. He says, I have heard them crying out because of their slave drivers, and I am concerned about their suffering. And I'm just wondering if Moses at this point is thinking, well, it's about time you come down here, so do something mighty. But then God says this in verse 10. So now, go. I am sending you to Pharaoh to bring my people out of Egypt. And then we get this dialogue between Moses and God, because really Moses is saying, are you kidding? You're wanting me? And the focus is on what he feels are his inadequacies. And God is trying to tell him, it's not about you, that I will go with you. And then he says, but who am I to say to my own people because they turned away from me? And he says, tell them I am who I am. Later, Moses will still argue with God, saying he can't speak very clearly. He had a stutter, apparently, and so God gives him Moses. God gives him Aaron. Well, do you ever feel like you're inadequate to the task God calls you to? Hard to hear the voice of God? You're kind of saying, is this really what you want me to do? Well, the God who is beyond understanding, when we look at that phrase, I am who I am, what exactly does that mean? But that God, who is maybe hard to understand, chooses to be with us and to sustain us, even in those places of overwhelming exile, those exile places. There's a man, Ted Loder. He wrote this poem, and I think it speaks to maybe where we sometimes feel, or maybe even now feel we are, and where Moses was. It's called Seraphim in Disguise. Oh God, everywhere present, but nowhere obvious. Here I am, where I always seem to be, between cold fronts and crocuses, dreams and disappointments, failures and summons, flaws and gifts, growing up and growing old, between isolation and intimacy, weariness and renewal, despair and hope, confidence and fear, life and death. Oh God, you must know how hard it is to be in this in-between where nothing is certain, everything is in flux, this relentless churning from something I can't quite grasp to something I can't quite see. And it's all up for grabs. And please, God, for grace. Mercy out of me, this tumultuous sense of fault, this dead weight of doubt that I am not two sparrows worth and no concern of yours. Deepen into me the liberating assurance that I am where you are with me. Stretched between the kingdom in our midst and the slow fullness of its coming. Muster my courage to let go of the clutch of grievances that keep rendering me vaguely the same, to become vulnerable to surprise by being one, taking some outrageous specific dare of love. Strengthen my trust that you are in the turbulence to intensify my struggles and to render me as well sociable to joy, subject to your grace. Keep my awareness that uncertainty is my dance with you, crises, seraphim in disguise, rumpling the air with choice and change, tonguing the coals of another chance, proclaiming between as holy, cleansing my soul for gratitude, freeing me when sent to go for you, a little less afraid and a little more at ease. Can we imagine Moses coming down from that mountain, bathed in grace because of the presence of God? May that be so in our lives as well. Amen.
Our God is a consuming fire, a burning holy flame with glory and freedom. Our God is the only righteous judge, ruling over us with kindness and wisdom. We will keep our eyes on you. We will keep our eyes on you. A mighty fortress is our God, a sacred kingdom is unshakable. With you forever we will reign. With you forever we will reign. With you forever we will reign. Our God is a consuming